Welcome back to our deep dive of the Blender 4.0 documentation. In this video, we are looking at extrusion. Once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. If you would like to support the channel, please like and subscribe. It is immensely helpful. We will begin with extruding a region. First, make sure you are in edit mode. Remember, you can press tab from object mode to change quickly. To extrude, we will need to select some vertices that we want to extrude. Then we will need to go over to the toolbar here and select the Extrude Region tool. After this, you can drag the region outwards. You can also do this more quickly with the shortcut, E on your keyboard. Let's go back to just having the box select tool and grab a few more vertices and then pull it out, and that's extrusion. You can use this to make any number of shapes that you want. Now that we know how to do it, let's talk about what extrusion is. Extrusion tools duplicate vertices while keeping the new geometry connected with the original vertices. Vertices are turned into edges, and edges will form faces. This tool is of paramount importance for creating new geometry. It allows you to create parallel pipes from rectangles and cylinders from circles, as well as easily creating such things as tree limbs. The axis on which vertices and edges are extruded along can be set interactively. Faces are extruded by default along their averaged normal. The extrusion can be limited to a single axis by specifying an axis. The extrude tools differentiate in how the new geometry is connected in itself. Only the border loop gets extruded. The inner region of the selection gets moved unchanged with the extrusion. Next, what is extruding a manifold? And again, we can go to the toolbar and select the Extrude Manifold tool, or we can press the shortcut Alt+E. This tool is very similar to extrude faces, but enables dissolve orthogonal edges by default. This causes the tool to automatically split and remove adjacent faces when extruding inwards. And lastly, what about extruding to the cursor? The shortcut to do this, if you didn't select the tool, is Controls plus the right mouse button. This interactively places new vertices with Control plus the right mouse button at the mouse cursor position. The most basic element, a vertex, can be added with a Control plus the right mouse button click when no other vertices are selected. Because the camera space, computer screen, is two-dimensional, Blender cannot determine all three vertex coordinates from a single mouse click, so the new vertex is placed at the depth of the 3D cursor. To create interconnected vertices, you can add a vertex and continuously make subsequent Control plus the right mouse button operations with the last vertex selected. This will link the last selected vertex with the vertex created at the mouse position with an edge. If you have two vertices selected and already connected with an edge, Control plus the right mouse button click will create a planar face, also known as a quad. Blender will follow your mouse cursor and will use the planar view from your viewport to create those quads. For Control plus the right mouse button, Blender will automatically rotate the last selected edge, the source, for the subsequent operations if you have at least one face created, dividing the angles created between the newly created edge and the last two edges, creating a smooth angle between them. Blender will calculate this angle using the last positive and negative position of the last X and Y coordinates and the last connected unselected edge. If this angle exceeds a negative limit, following a quadrant rule, between the recently created edge and the last two, Blender will wrap the faces. But if you do not want Blender to rotate and smooth edges automatically, when extruding from Control plus the right mouse button, you can also inhibit Blender from rotating sources using the shortcut Shift plus Control plus the right mouse button. In this case, Blender will not rotate the source, dividing the angle between those edges when creating a face. If you have three or more vertices selected and Control plus right mouse button click, you will also create planar faces, but along the vertices selected, following the direction of the cursor. This operation is similar to an extrude operation. When adding objects with Control plus the right mouse button, the extrusions of the selected elements, being vertices, edges, and faces with the Control plus the right mouse button, are viewport dependent. This means once you change your viewport, for example, from top to left, bottom, or right, the extrusion direction will also follow your viewport and align the extrusions with your planar view. With all of this said about extruding, to quickly add new faces to extrude, we can use the Loop Cut tool. The shortcut, if you didn't use the tool, is Control plus R. You can pre-visualize the cut before you make it. and then make a cut that will change face of the surface for more extrusion space. The Poly Build tool will do similar operations. To add geometry with it, use the Ctrl plus the left mouse button. Vertices or faces can be created by moving the cursor close to an element and using the hotkey to add a vertex or face. The tool first tries to create a face, however, if not enough geometry exists to create a face. It will try to extrude a vertex to the cursor. When creating a face, the face can be previewed by holding Ctrl. You can delete mesh elements with Shift plus the left mouse button. To move vertices around, use the left mouse button. When moving them around, you can extrude edges too. Edges can be extruded by moving the cursor close to an edge and using the hotkey to extrude the edge to the desired location. The edge you are trying to extrude will be highlighted in blue while hovering over it. And lastly, since we are talking about tools and extruding, if you have a shape and you need to spin a section, the spin tool is your guy. The spin tool extrudes or duplicates it if the selection is manifold, the selected elements, rotating around a specific point and axis. Use the tool to create the sort of objects that you would produce on a lathe. This tool is often called lathe tool or sweep tool in the literature, for this reason. In fact, it does a sort of circular extrusion of your selected elements centered on the 3D cursor and around the axis perpendicular to the working view. We will leave it to you to play with the spin tool more, and that will do it for this video. Thanks for making it all the way to the end. If you like content like this, please be sure to support the channel by liking and subscribing. See you in the next video. Bye.